There was also the Debbie Downer, who insisted Sabrina had never fully recovered from her divorce and was holed up in her house crying over her leftover frozen wedding cake like some demented, haggard, jilted bride from an old Charles Dickens novel. Hayley knew that last one was an outright lie, because the Sabrina who was beaming from ear to ear as she sat down across from her at a corner table was a far cry from the emotional car wreck some of her detractors were making her out to be. "Hayley, you must have a sip of this peanut butter cup martini. It is so decadently delicious, you will just die," Sabrina cooed as she pushed the glass by its stem over in front of Hayley. "Let's hope not," Hayley said, lifting the glass and taking a tiny sip. There was no arguing her point. The drink was orgasmic. "Kudos to your brother for another to-die-for cocktail recipe," Sabrina said, retrieving the glass back from Hayley and downing another gulp as she closed her eyes and savored the taste. Hayley noticed a half-empty bottle of Sam Adams on the table. "Is someone else joining us?" Sabrina popped her eyes back open and nodded, excited. "Yes, a friend. He's in the men's room." "I see. And he's just a friend?" A spurt of giggles escaped Sabrina's lips. She turned her face slightly away like an embarrassed schoolgirl. Hayley couldn't remember Sabrina being so coquettish and demure. She had suddenly gone from Dickens to a full-fledged Bronte heroine. "Well, now you've certainly gotten my attention," Hayley said, smiling as she signaled to her brother behind the bar to bring over her usual Jack and Coke. Randy gave her a wave and then grabbed a bottle of whiskey off the shelf. "Is he local? Is it someone I know?" Hayley asked Sabrina, who was now dragging her fingertip across the rim of her martini glass, gathering up the chocolate that lined it, and then sliding her finger into her mouth and licking it off. "No. I met him when I was visiting my sister in San Diego a few months ago. We were having lunch at an outdoor cafe in the gas lamp district, and he jogged by. Our eyes met, but he kept going. It was a fleeting fantasy on my part. How could this strapping hunk of pure masculinity ever be interested in me? But then, without warning, he doubled back and introduced himself. My sister asked him to join us, and he did. We've been inseparable ever since." Hayley glanced up to see a young man, not far past the legal drinking age, walking from the restrooms back toward their table. This couldn't be him. He was striking. Black hair, gorgeous smile, and he was covered in tattoos. His arms, the back of his hands, and what Hayley could see of his smooth bronzed chest through his open silk white shirt that he wore with the sleeves rolled up to his elbows. He wore thick black glasses and had two perfectly round holes in his earlobe. He was a sight to behold. Hayley normally wasn't a big fan of body art and piercings, but this kid, this lean yet muscled Adonis, wore it so well. When he smiled, it was as if the whole bar was suddenly bathed in a heavenly light. Hayley's heart fluttered. Not because she was attracted to him. This was male beauty in its finest form, and she was just appreciating it. Oh, who was she kidding? Of course she was attracted to him. But he was almost young enough to be her son. He stopped at the table and massaged Sabrina's shoulders. She melted at his touch. Her face turned crimson, and out came another girlish giggle. "You must be Hayley. I've been anxious to meet you. Mason Cassidy," the Adonis said in a deep, baritone voice. Hayley stood up and held out her hand, but Mason brushed it away and enveloped her in a tight hug. She could feel his rock-hard chest as he squeezed her body tightly into his. After releasing her from his iron grip, Mason gave her a playful wink. "Sorry, I'm a big hugger." Oh, this kid was good. Hayley suddenly found herself giggling.